Hello, my name is Cami Wint, and I am here to do the Week 5 lesson plan for the consonant, consonant, vowel, consonant words. This is for kindergarten through first grade and or used for intervention practices. So let's get started. This will be for phonemic awareness with letters. I'm going to give each student a copy of the Say It, Move It board, which looks very similar to this, and along with some letters. And first I will have each student identify the names of each letter that you saw on here. Okay. And then I would direct them to place their letter in the circles at the top of the board. And then I'm going to move on to the lesson. So we're going to do the Say It, Move It board with letters. Let's do the first one together. The first word is pat. What is the word? And then the students would say pat. Now let's say it and move it. The first sound in pat is p. And then what sound did I just say? And they would go p back. And then ask, what's the word? And they would say pat. Now let's say it and move it. The first sound in pat is p. So what we do is they would take their magnetic letter and they would move their letter P down to the line here and put a P. And then we would do the same thing, and we would pronounce each letter as they would put it. So it would be at, and that's how they would form that word. And then I would say, now let's try and read the whole word. And then they would, start to pronounce the word pat and eventually say it. And then I would say, good, let's try another. And then the students would continue to use the letters in their circle to form words like lap, fat, map, mat, and sap. Just different words that you can come up with what they have. So now we're going to move on to modeling continuous blending. So that one, I need the word, I'm sure there's a better way to see this. Spin. It's S-P-I-N right there. Okay, so I would say, I would print on the board. I would print spin on the board. And then I would say, today I'm going to show you how to sound out words. Watch me blend the sound in this first word. And then I would point to spin and I would say, I will blend this word. And then I'm going to go sp, in, spin. And I would do it again. Spin. Alright, and then you're going to go back over it with the kids. So you're going to say, now watch as I read the whole word. And then I would go spin. And then you would give a definition for the word. So I put, spin means to go in circles. So let's jump up and go in circles. And so we would all stand up, twirl around, and then sit back down for the next part of the lesson. Alright, now we're moving on to lead continuous blending. Alright. So for this one, I picked the word plan, P-L-A-N. It's kind of hard to see on there. It's on the back of my other board here. So what I would do is I would print the word plan on the board, and then I'd say, now I'm going to lead you in sounding out these words. You're going to sound out some words along with me. Remember that we'll keep saying the sound until I point to the next letter. So I'm going to say, let's blend this letter. This word, sorry. And then we're going to do the same process. So plan. And then you would just keep repeating this process with them, except they would be saying it with you this time. And also you can use the words flap and flat to go do those as well. Try to stick to some similar words because it'll help at the end with some of the activities. Okay, now we're moving on to checking for continuous blending. And for this one, I chose the word grab, G-R-A-B. Okay, now it's your turn to sound out this word. It's time I point to the letter. I want you to say its sound. Keep saying it until I point to the next letter. So this is becoming more of them doing it. When I sweep my finger under the word, just say that word part. So we're going to blend this word. And then as you would point, I would probably give an example. So g, r, a, b. And then the students would start and they would do their own. So grab. And then they would get it. And if students didn't understand what the word grab meant, you could always explain to them or use an action or something like that. Now we're going to move on to word reading practices for automaticity. Alright, so let me find that one. For this one, I chose the words clap and grab. It's kind of hard to see them there. And I'm going to show you how to read words without saying each sound aloud. So I'm going to point to the left of clap here. And then I'm going to point and loop to each letter and then have them try to say it. And give them a few minutes to try to put the sounds together to say the word. And then I would ask, what's the word? And then they would tell me. And we would do the same thing with grab. And it's their chance to further get themselves to the point where they can read it on their own. Okay, let me find the other one. Okay. So this one, I put the words slam and flap. And now you're having the chance for the students to start to not say the sound out loud, but tell them to say it in their heads. So this is what I would say to the kids. Now I'm going to lead you in reading words without saying the sound out loud. As I point to each letter, we'll sound out the word to ourselves. And at the end, that's when the students would say the word. So it's very similar to the last one. It's just less and less steps for me and more of them becoming independent. So I would do my little finger thing, slide over the words, give them a few minutes, and they should be able to produce a sound because they have a lot of the same letters in each word. Okay, so now we're going to combine all these words that the kids have learned on another board, which are slam, flap, slap, brat, clap, and grab. Okay, so you have it all in there. Now it's your turn to sound out words. When I point to a word, sound it out to yourself. When I sweep my finger under the word, read the whole word aloud. So then what I would do for each word is I would point and they would say it. So this first word here is slam. So they would say slam. And then I would say, what's the word? And then they would repeat themselves. And then I would move across the board. Next section is applying decodable text. So you would choose books that most of the words were wholly decodable and the other words were also irregular words that they learned in the last lesson. This helps them identify the correct words for these and help them understand what it looks like in a book instead of by itself. Alright. Sorry, this lesson's a little long. Okay, so for my error corrections, this would go back to checking for continuous blending. If a student or students respond incorrectly, stop immediately and model the correct response with the entire group, just to make sure that everybody's on board, and then ask the entire group to respond. So For blending errors such as passing between sounds, you want to immediately say, don't stop between sounds and listen to me blend the word. And you would model blending the word and then lead the students in blending the word again with them. For four-letter sound errors, immediately say the correct sound. So, for example, I and spin. So then point to the letter and I, and when you would ask, what sound is this? And they would say, I. And you say, yes, the correct sound is I. So you would just want to keep reassuring them that this is the way that they need to be going. Some students may struggle to move on to four-letter words. They may still struggle with pronouncing the three-letter sounds so quickly, as well as trying to read it on their own instead of sounding each sound out. For my different students that I could potentially have, for this lesson, I would do for ELO students, the students would have a set of 9 boxes on a sheet of paper, each with a picture representing a four-letter, consonant, consonant, vowel, consonant. So I could have a picture of a crab, somebody clapping. There could be a picture of a flag, different things like that. So it's just pictures. And then underneath, it's kind of like a cut and paste, so where you would have the letters in the bottom, and they would just have to identify the objects according to the words that they learned today. For special education students, I would use a blank template or puzzle. So you would take a puzzle that doesn't have quite all its pieces, or even make one online. And you would cut them out and write words that would eventually spell it out. So for each puzzle piece would have a letter. So you would have 4 puzzle pieces put together would spell clap or grab or however that may be. And make sure the pieces do spell the words, otherwise you're going to get some really weird combinations. For my talented and gifted students, I would have these students get some Legos, and they each would have a letter on the block. And their goal is to work on the consonant, vowel, consonant, E words. The teacher could also help them identify these words by giving them a list instead of just coming up with some on their own. This would help gear them towards the next lesson that they would be learning and also keep them ahead. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to your feedback. Thank you.